click is ETG. Eat the goose. Eat the goose. Yeah,
Introducing the 2 racks a week challenge.
Don't shoot. Which I need some proof. Just watch my videos, man.
Video and then,
2 racks a
just
week.
showing all your 2,500. I said, okay. All right, that's me with that.
68 hours, so it was $2,075.60.
I work like 70, I don't remember, like 73, 74 hours. I made like 3,400, close to 3,500.
I made $2,001.
62 hours, and I had 2,400.
Introducing the 2 racks a week challenge.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, man, y'all know what time it is, man. Y'all see another individual. You see the 2 racks a week shirt. So what does that tell you? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get it. Here we have another winner of the 2 racks a week challenge, man. Let's go. I'm going to let him do his own introduction, of course, man. I don't want to steal the shine from him. So go ahead, man. Do your introduction, your name, what market you driving in, and which platform do you mainly drive on?
Yeah, my name is Nate G. I'm part of the 2G Club a week.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm in the Milwaukee area in Wisconsin, the 4014. And my apps that I use are Lyft and Uber.
Okay. Not too shabby. So you multi-app.
I do, yeah. If I don't get a ride within 5 minutes of one app, I'm turning on the next app.
Okay. Yeah, so no downtime for you. So said fuck that. Straight to it. So Nate, let them know how many hours and how much money did you make?
Yeah, so looking at Uber, it was 39 hours, 78 trips, and Lyft, it was 39 hours and 91 rides. Uber, I made $948, and Lyft, I made $1,056 of a total of $2,004.58.
Here's the Uber. Let me go to Lyft. Oh, bam. So y'all see it. Y'all see the name. Y'all see the numbers. So y'all know he ain't capping. So 2 racks a week, not too shabby. Yeah, another person, man. I think you may be the second or third person from Milwaukee. So shout out to the Milwaukee area, out there doing it, getting those winners, to getting those numbers up. So how did you even get started in the rideshare game?
Yeah, so quick story. In January, I was laid off from a professional job. I have over 10 years of experience in sales. And after the layoff, I knew I needed to do something quickly. So got into Rideshare. And then I would say February, March, I saw you on, I think it's called the Rideshare Hub channel.
Okay,
and you had an interview with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, all right, so this is possible. So I first started as just driving to what I was making at my sales job, which I don't mind sharing. It was $800 after taxes and after health insurance. So I'm just doing that. Obviously I need to make some room for gas, which I drive a Nissan Maxima, and that's $60 a tank. So I'm driving, the miles to make $100-200 and then paying for gas. And I'm just like, I'm not making enough money. Like, I need to find another job. And when I saw your video, I thought it was, a blessing from God saying that, you can make a living off of this plus some.
And you were making $800 weekly or bi-weekly?
Weekly.
Okay,
yep.
Okay. All right, yeah. So you seen the videos, you seen the numbers, and that was on the Rideshare Hub. Like, what exactly, like from that video, did you take away? Because some people, they'll take away, certain nuggets and certain information that I give away, or some people they just completely just hate and think I'm full of shit. So what was about the things that I said that just stuck with you?
Yeah, honestly, it's getting up before the sun rises, you know, at 3 to 4 a.m., 6:30 a.m. at the latest, and just grinding. If you were to look in my area, I live in the suburbs, which is about 20 minutes from the airport. So if
Okay.
I can get up early as possible, I'm getting rides right to the airport. And then, you know, of course, you know that Uber and Lyft, you're able to pick up a ride right away.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that takes me out maybe another 30, 40 minutes out, and I'm
Mhm.
doing that all over again, which is great. And that's you could probably get $200 by noon.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. So that's interesting because you said you came from a sales background, and you know, you landed on a rideshare related channel. Did you have any like previous rideshare related experience, or you was just on the internet doing some research on how to make some side cash?
Yeah, it was more of just a side cash and just overhearing that right by my neighborhood there's a restaurant, and I'm really close with all of them. And one of them shared with me that his dad does Uber, and he's
Mm.
making like 2 grand a week doing Uber XL. I said, well, I
Oh.
don't have an XL, but
Okay.
I know I could, make something off of it.
Hmm.
So I gave it a little chance when I was, still in sales. And then, once that layoff happened, I thought it was, a calling, knowing that, eventually I wanted to work for myself, just didn't know how. And this is the perfect opportunity to help me, be financially wealthy in the future.
Okay. Nice, man. Yeah, man. Like, you know, I think, you know, this is like one of the best ways to make money. A lot of people get into it so they know somebody who has had some type of experience, and then maybe they're making a couple hundred or a couple $1,000 a week extra. So a lot of people fall into excuse me, doing this, and before you know, it's like, damn, I'm making more money driving than, you know, than I was at my other job. So once you transitioned to doing this, was it part time or you just jumped straight in full time?
Yeah, I jumped in straight in full time. I was still, because at the time my wife did not believe that this was a real job. She's like, we're trying to buy a house next year.
That was gonna be my
You
next
know,
question.
you need a proof of employment, this and that. And I'm like, don't worry, like it's gonna happen. So, of course I was actively looking for new jobs, but I just wasn't landing it right. I'm built like a machine. I'll just get it done. And not every company is looking for that yes and no kind of person. They're looking for
Right.
that just getting by. They're not looking for a raise anytime soon.
Right.
And they
Right.
just have that corporate mindset. But I'm
Yeah.
not that type of
Exactly.
person.
Mm.
My mother-in-law is a realtor,
Mhm.
and my parents worked that 9 to 5 job, and I knew that's not something I wanted to do at all. So, my last thoughts were real estate or doing something like this, and one of those two's got to work. And I'm sure
Okay.
you know that the real estate game, with making money, you got to have those contacts at first, so
Hmm.
you're not going to get all that right away.
Right. Nice, man. Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit more because you said your wife. You know, I hear this quite often, even, you know, from people I've talked to over the past. But oh, this is not a real job. Like, once you told her I'm about to drive Uber and Lyft, how did she look at you? And
She's like, because she's European, so she's like, that's a shame to my family and
damn.
friends, knowing that you're going to be driving Uber, you're eventually going to be driving them. And it's funny that the world's so small. I pick up people that I've met in the past or went to school with, and it's great, catching up with them. And then I don't ask this to every rider, but I always ask the ones that want to talk to me, like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, how much do you think I make this week? How much do you think I make? And they'll say
Mm-hmm.
like $400, $600. I'm like, oh, okay. They're like, how much do you make? I'm like, 2 racks. 2
Yeah,
racks a week.
dummy. Yeah, that's man. I'm glad we're talking about this because it's interesting because a lot of people they don't view this as, you know, a job or a real job as they like to say because they have that whole, you know, corporate mindset, doing things by the book, you know, getting a degree, going to school, and it's like everybody has like this whole thought process. But I see both sides of the story because okay, imagine if you're a passenger, you taking an Uber, you meeting a driver who doesn't have like the discipline and the proper mindset and who's doing it part time, and it's like, you know, they have negative things to say, but oh yeah, I do this part time. I'm not making much money, so they think drivers, you know, are losers. But in my opinion, it's like, man, if you discipline, only thing that matters is what's coming in your bank account at the end of the week, man. Because if you was to show them, let's say, if you was to show them like your deposit slips, you know, from your bank account, and just ask them, let's say they see 2 racks, 1,800, 1,700, and you just show them like, what do you think, what occupation you think this is? They wouldn't even say Uber drivers. Like, nah, this from driving Uber. They're like, for real? But oh man, I might have to do it. But you know, trust me, I've been there, done that. But it's funny that you said your wife said it's like a disgrace to her friends and her family. Like, damn.
Yeah, it was harsh, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
used to it. We're very competitive, but they say in life, do something that you're happy or make a lot of money. Of course, we're not always happy driving, but that's where the riders come from. The riders are going to give you that good time, or for me, and this is something we could definitely talk about because I wanted to ask you, what that starter pack looks like to be, a driver. And one of them would definitely be, having headphones. I'm definitely educating myself about real estate and just what's going on in the world, and not being woke, but being awake about what the world's going on right now. And these are definitely great ways to spark conversations with my riders too. And sometimes they're okay with me playing my podcast when I'm driving.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, definitely have to have some headphones in, and we could probably get to that a little bit later. So, you know, you told your wife that you was, driving full time. How was like the first week for you? Like, did you struggle a little bit? What was some of the, like the problems that you was like facing or challenges that you was coming across?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I didn't have that mindset yet. I was just working until what I made for my old job, making
Mm,
ends meet. Um, but I could honestly say, with us just moving out, or looking to buy a house, I wasn't making enough money. So
okay.
with eventually finding your videos and how you do things and following that, the problem that I came out to having is paying for gas.
Mm,
So I was starting to make $200, 280, but then I'm losing a lot because I'm paying $60 a day on gas. So
mm,
that'd be the biggest challenge. And then, at first it was, having that mindset to get up early. I wake up at like 10:30, 11, and looking at the Uber app when it shows you that trending, that's
yeah.
all happening at 3 to 6 a.m. in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting people are going to the doctor visit, maybe just going to the
Short
gas station
trips.
back.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't getting those expensive trips.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, you know what? I work till 9 p.m. today on Sunday. I'm going to try that 3 or 4 a.m. And
Mm-hmm.
even though I got lack of sleep, I crushed it, man. I crushed it.
Mm. Yeah, like that's what I said, man. If you start early, that's a life changer because it's like, damn, man, that's when you get the big rides, the surges, people going to the airport. So yeah, talk about that. Like your first day, waking up early, and what was the difference as far as like the volume of trips and the income?
Yeah, so waking up this early, the great thing about where I live is an apartment complex, so I'm able to just park right up. Um, if I'm waiting a little bit longer, there's a grocery store right there, so I could just pop in, maybe get some coffee, energy drink, and not having the app on the whole time. So
Mm-hmm.
from me leaving my apartment to me going in the garage to me finally parking, I'm having that app on,
Okay.
and because I live in a perfect distance from the airport,
Mm-hmm.
I'm either getting a 30-minute ride, 25-minute ride, or maybe even an 18-minute ride all the way to the
Mm-hmm.
airport, which is great. And where I live right now, there's a lot of hotels as well. So I'm getting a lot of business people, especially Monday, Tuesday. They're getting in or they're leaving, going back to where they came from. So I love that the Uber and Lyft app have where you drop someone off at the airport, you could swing back around and pick up someone next and be right in front of that queue. Which is sadly, where I live right now, if you were to go to the airport, there's like 40, 50 cars waiting for people.
Mm-hmm.
So them being there, I know they're not making two racks a week.
Right. They just sitting there probably smoking cigarettes on FaceTime.
Smoking cigarettes, they have like this volleyball thing set up where they're just using their feet. I
Oh,
guess it's a
really?
trend going on right now. Yeah, and it's interesting because I'll just go over there just to use the bathroom,
Mhm.
wait 5 minutes. If I don't get that ride in that first queue within the first 5-10 minutes, I'm leaving.
Right.
I'm getting out of the airport area. I'm gonna either go downtown, which is about
Mhm.
10 minutes away,
Mhm.
or I'm gonna go into a suburb.
Right, man. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's why I always say, don't wait at the airport because it's just a bunch of people there wasting time. Then let's say you do wait 20, 30 minutes, you finally get a request and you only go like 2 miles away from the airport to like a hotel or something. It's like, damn, now you wasted all that time just to go 2 miles. So maybe wait, 5, 10 minutes. And if you don't get nothing, go to the areas that going to have a lot of volume. So yeah, I like that. I like that you said that because a lot of people they just waste time. And I another question for you. Yeah, once you first started, of course it's a learning curve for most people.
Mhm.
For like your first day until you made $2,000, how long did it take you to achieve 2 racks a week?
Yeah, I would say, from January to February, I was still figuring it out. Purposely only making $800 a week, which is probably like $3,000 a month at
Hmm.
most. So I would say about a month ago, I started to hit 15,
Mm.
$1,800 a week. And then it wasn't until I really focused on hitting those goals,
Hmm.
those trip goals that they offer. Unfortunately, and we can get to this later, but I'm not able to get 80 trips by Thursday or
Right,
by
right,
Friday
okay.
morning. So I always just do the 60 bare minimum because, like I mentioned earlier, if I'm not getting a ride within 5 minutes, I'm turning on both apps,
Hmm.
which would be another challenge too. When I'm turning on Lyft, Uber doesn't notify me when I get a trip through there. I
Really?
don't know if that happens with you too. If you
I never ran both apps simultaneously, so I never tried it.
So I can have Lyft in the background, and I could see it in the my iPhone settings. It plays in the background,
Hmm.
but for some reason Uber doesn't do that all the time.
Mm.
So I'll have
Interesting.
Lyft as like Plan B, and then
Hmm.
Uber being the primary. Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Damn, yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's a learning curve for most people just because it's a bit of a transition because if you come in from like a normal job 9 to 5 or whatever you was doing prior to this, a lot of times you try to make, like you said, what you were making at your normal job or maybe a little bit more. But then you really have to start, setting goals and pushing yourself so you can make more just because you'll get complacent because as your experience and your knowledge starts to acquire from doing this, it'll become a lot easier to make $100 and $200 and 250. It becomes like real easy, and it's like, okay, I'm going home, I hit my goal. Then it's like, damn, if I would have stayed out there for an extra hour, maybe 2 hours, how much money could I potentially made? Then it's like, all right, I'm gonna go out there and push myself and try something different. Then you start to make more, way more money. Then you start to learn your market and learn more about yourself. So you said it took you a couple months to hit $2,000. Once you finally hit it, man, how did that feel?
Oh, last week, you're the first person I told. I was so
Okay.
excited. I went to Instagram to message you, and then of course I showed my wife, and she's like, "I don't want to work anymore."
She
So
don't
the
want to
tables
work
have
no more.
turned.
Okay.
Right now, I'm investing in getting a new vehicle. I actually just purchased a Tesla,
Okay.
and I noticed your roommate has one, so I was
Hmm.
watching him for a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, but I'd love to hear your experience with that. I know you rented one,
Hmm.
and you don't have to explain the whole thing, but what was your experience in an interaction with the riders, and did you see any difference with like tips or anything?
Um, not so much as far as tips, man. I really believe after well, it also depends on your market too, because people out here, they take Uber pretty much like daily just to get to
Mhm.
work and stuff like that. So I truly believe the best way to get more tips is to be an interesting person. having good conversation, being relatable, having an impact on somebody's day. So I think it really doesn't matter what type of vehicle you in. But overall, like driving the Tesla is definitely a cool experience. But
Yeah.
as far as, like charging, you got to consider, those wait times, charging, and especially depending on how many miles a day you drive. So when I was driving, I had to charge like, maybe once or twice a day. So that
Mhm.
could, take time out. But overall, it was a cool car. I For me personally, I recommend most people, just to get, like a Prius or a used vehicle, just because I know most people, they're not gonna do this long term. They're not gonna be disciplined, regardless of what I tell them to do. So I wouldn't recommend, like your average person who with no experience who's looking to do this just to get a Tesla without, developing the habits. But if you get out there, let's say for a few months, you like it, you think you're gonna be doing this for, a few years or whatever, the case may be, and you got a cool charging setup and you discipline, and you can make money in your market, shit, then get it.
Yeah.
Then it's like what you're capable of. So I mean, but that's cool. Which one did you get?
Yeah, so I got the Model Y, and the only
Okay.
reason why I got the Tesla is because I don't think I'll fit in a Prius. I'm 6'4",
Oh yeah,
bigger
yeah,
guy, so anyone sitting behind me, and which I
yeah.
don't. If it's
Hmm.
one person, why do they sit behind us?
Right.
I
That's
never get.
weird. Yeah, that's weird, man. But yeah, if I was to get a Tesla, it would be like the Model Y. I definitely like the Model Y. But I also think I'm not sure if Lyft is doing it out there. I think they're supposed to offer like an extra $150 or something if you do a certain amount of trips. At least out here, that's how it is. But
Sure.
those they're definitely like cool cars. So I think you definitely gonna enjoy it. One thing that's gonna be annoying about it is people, oh, how do you like the Tesla? And then you got to explain to them how to open up the door, how to
Yeah.
get out the door. That's gonna be annoying. Then just the questions. That's the most annoying part because people ask you the craziest questions like, oh, if you like got on top of the roof and looked inside, could you see the inside of the car? I'm like, I never been on top of the roof. Like, what the fuck?
It's all glass. Why would I want
Yeah,
to do that?
yeah. Like, why would I just get on top of the roof and like look in? So, but shout out to you for getting that. So it seemed like you like it, and um, that you're gonna be doing this for a while. What did your wife say about you getting a Tesla? And
Yeah, so I did my first demo. I would say about a month ago, and I loved it. I got used to it right away.
mm-hmm.
Um, the biggest blessing I have right now is our apartment complex has free EV charging
Ooh,
stations.
oh yeah, yep, okay,
So I was like, this is a wrap. I'll be
yeah,
so normally I drive about 150 miles before I take my break, which is about
okay,
5 hours.
yeah, yeah,
So after 5 hours, I'll take a little bit longer break, have lunch, you know, and I would definitely love to hear some ideas as far as your nutrition diets.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, going to the demo, got used to how the deceleration works and the degeneration of the braking. And as soon as I hit that freeway, they're like, all right, floor it. I didn't do it right away because I'm like, all right, it's supposed to be all the torque all at once. I didn't really understand that at first. But once I did it the second time by myself, because I did the Model 3 and then I did the Model Y, I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely like the Model Y. But just seeing that how the autopilot works,
Mm-hmm.
the full self-driving, you want to trust it, but you don't want to at the same time.
Right,
Especially when you drive past semi trucks. Because for me, I'm a little bit off to the side away from the semi truck. No matter what, this car is going to want to stay in the middle. So
right,
I think that'll be the only time I want to take off autopilot. But besides the boring interior, I think it's a great vehicle.
mm-hmm.
The world's definitely been going that direction in the next 20 years, especially California first. I know your environment's not the greatest, and I know that that's going to be definitely promoted or even coming to a ban when it comes to gas vehicles.
Yeah, they trying to promote that, but we'll see, man. We'll definitely see about that. So let's get back to like the 2 racks a week. Yeah, so talk about the transition, I guess, from your 9 to 5 working sales to driving Uber and Lyft. Talk about some of the benefits of driving, and yeah. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so when I told my colleagues that I was driving Uber, they're like, "Oh, you're not gonna like it. You get crazy people all the time.
Of
You're
course,
gonna get people throwing up in your car."
of
It's just like
course.
I don't even drive at night. I'm
Hmm.
done by 5:30 Central Time.
Hmm.
So, if anything on the weekends, I'll take them to the destination drinking, but I'm not picking you up.
Right.
And even doing like baseball games, I'll get those few people that are just a little iffy, and sometimes you just gotta decline them. I have a 4% cancel rate, so I think I could use those wisely.
Hmm.
But as far as making sure that I get my mindset right, it's definitely a great blessing to have this type of opportunity where you're guaranteed money as long as you work hard and you just get it done. Just wake up, get it done, get out of the way. You
Hmm.
got kids, you got family, you got a wife or a significant other. You get to enjoy the rest of the time with them, which is the best
Mm,
part. Having
mm.
that freedom, you don't have to put in PTO. Sure, it's unpaid time off, and I think they're going to work something out in the future for us to make some money when we're not working. And my wife and I like to travel because here in Wisconsin you get 4 seasons in one day, and
Right,
that's not
right.
always enjoyable. So our next trip is actually in September, and we're going to Hawaii.
Oh, nice, man. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, man, those definitely are all, some benefits. I say all the time, a lot of drivers say it. But you mentioned something interesting, how, some of your coworkers were saying a whole bunch of negative stuff, as if how many of them truly had experience out on the road, putting in hours. It's like a lot of people, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
It's like you hear a whole bunch of negative stuff, but it's not from, experience or any type of like wisdom. It's just, oh, well, this is going to happen. As if, like, why would I listen to you, man?
they don't like
I
when
would,
you're happy. They don't
yeah,
like
they
when
don't.
you're enjoying yourself, when you found something that you truly love. With this, I mentioned earlier that you either love your job or you hate it and you just make money. This is a mixture of both for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, man. People, they always have something, negative to say. But now look at you, you doing this shit, you upgrading vehicles. Just make sure you send them a picture of your 2 racks, and make sure you send them a picture of your new Tesla once it comes in.
Because I'm telling you, man, I actually switched over to a RAV4, my wife's car,
Hmm.
that I was spending $1,300 a month just on gas.
Damn.
Yeah, I was like, this is killing my
Yeah,
pockets.
yeah.
And then, I didn't include maintenance either. You're definitely gonna need the tires changed soon, all
Hmm.
that. So I'm like, I need to get rid of this car. I may be the few that actually, invest getting a new vehicle, but if you are gonna make a vehicle change, it's definitely again something hybrid like yours, your Prius, an all
Hmm.
black Prius. You still have it?
All black of course.
Perfect.
Yeah, this is my second Prius. My first one, the transmission went out last year, so I'm on my second Prius, but I still have it. Hmm.
So would you ever, go into all electric, or are you 100%
Uh,
Prius?
I'm Prius right now, man. Uh, as far as electric, probably not to drive. Not saying just because the time that I have to spend, charging. Because I thought about it. I'm like, damn, if I have to spend an hour or two charging, unless I could, unless I move to like another apartment and they have, overnight charging, that could significantly help. But for where I'm at now, for like the next year, we don't have, charging where we live. So I have to go to a charging station. And if
Yeah,
you add up all that time, especially I'm always, making moves and stuff. I'm like, damn, I got to charge and all this. And I'm like, that could be an additional at least 7+ hours a week just spent charging. And I got to edit videos and do, 2 racks a week calls and do other stuff. So I'm like, nah, not right now, but maybe in the future, if I didn't do
yeah,
this, yeah, we'll see. I'm not opposed to it. I just know like what works for me in my lifestyle. I just like shit to go, like go,
yeah.
like quick,
And who
fast,
knows? Maybe that 45
efficiency.
minutes could have been that $80 trip you need to
Yeah,
take.
exactly, man. Yeah, because sometimes I get trips I'm like, oh damn, okay, this is like 40, 50 miles away, but then sometime, oh man, okay, because like once you get to Tesla, let's say you get a far trip, you'll put the address or you put the city that's going on, but okay, once I get there, I would be like at 18% battery, so I got enough juice to get there. Then I have to charge once I get there. So, but you definitely got to consider that. But yeah, man, I don't know. But if I do switch over, of course I'm gonna let the audience know.
I do want to switch topics though. What
Mhm.
was your worst ride, or what was your worst request of a ride?
Worst request as far as like distance.
Like you open your app, you saw the request, and you're like deny instantly.
The worst one, maybe somewhere. I think it was like Illinois or something. I don't know if it was a glitch. Every now and then you'll get every blue moon. It's like I think they're glitches or something. I'm like, what? Like, why would I go, this far away? Or I know like maybe 5, 6 months ago, it was like a request to go to Vegas. I'm like, I'm not doing this. Like, hell no. So sometimes you get like weird trips. I mean, yesterday? Either yesterday or Wednesday, I had a request to go to Sacramento. So from like San Jose to Sacramento, so that's like 100 something miles. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. So what about for you?
Yeah, for me, just to add up to the story, from where I live to Chicago is about an hour. So the O'Hare Airport,
Mm-hmm.
our airport here in Wisconsin, it's not, they don't do direct flights.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, you'll do an express flight to Chicago and then you would
Mm-hmm.
go to your destination.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind doing the O'Hare trips. It's
Mm-hmm.
about 77 miles,
Okay.
an hour there and back. So it's about $90 for Uber X, which is great.
Hell
So I
yeah.
would say about $40 there and back. But my worst request I got was from here in Milwaukee to Michigan. It was 4 hours and it was $186.
Damn.
So I did the math. I was like, that's like $25 an hour. So I'm driving there for 4 hours, probably taking a break, have to get
Right.
gas, and then driving all by myself for 4 hours.
Right. Yeah. It's not worth it. Cause it ain't like you could do rides in Michigan. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. Sometimes, but yeah, since we talk about the trips, I'm pretty sure that you've seen this online. People talking about, declining short trips. So what is your strategy uh, for yourself and how you determine which trips you're going to take?
Yeah, so I actually get this a lot when I do take riders. They ask me this all the time, like, do you decline? Like, how do you justify what you're going to take? For me, it's not even trips; it's hours and the miles I drive. Today I drove 280 miles and I made $352 before they kicked
Not
me
too
off Uber.
shabby.
So if I can get to 300 miles, you don't even have to look at the dollars you made. You made over $300.
Right.
So, when it comes to trips, I know there's going to be someone that, we talked about this offline, but, there's always going to be that trip where they might have gotten 6 cancels and you're the 7th person they're trying to get. So, I would just do it. You never know what kind of conversation you're going to have with them.
Right.
Maybe you made their day.
Yep.
Maybe they're a millionaire. They're going to tip you $1,000.
Yep.
You never know.
Mm-hmm.
I had this other guy. He was going to the airport, had a great conversation with him, and just having that simple conversation with people, because all they probably do is just talk about work, and they want that conversation outside of work.
Yeah.
So having that, extra engagement, you can make someone's day, and they can make your day with giving you a great tip.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and I say you need a combination of the short, the medium, and the long trips. But I think most importantly, you have to get some type of experience, man. You have to get your feet wet in doing this so you can know what trips to take. Because if you knew when you seen all this stuff on the internet, people talk about, declining trips, then you get out there, think you're gonna just decline. One, you're gonna fuck up your acceptance rate. And two, it's like, you a newbie. You don't even know what to expect and what to do. So if you knew, man, just accept, trips, just focus on getting the hours in. Then once you get more familiar with your area, then you can start, declining and picking and choosing, being more selective. But if you new, man, just have fun, man, because you're gonna learn. That's one thing that's guaranteed, especially if you put out the hours. You
Yeah, and
definitely
if I
gonna
could
learn.
add too,
Hmm.
I know I think you mentioned this before, after 500 rides, 500 trips, then you'll be able to justify, where you need to be, what type of pickups you're going to get in that area. Because for
Hmm.
me, 3 to 6 a.m., I know they're going to be airport rides going to the airport. So I don't mind, picking someone up at 4 a.m., dropping them off at the airport, which is a 20-minute ride. I
Hmm.
don't mind coming back 20 minutes over here because I
Exactly.
know there's
Because
going to be someone else coming back.
exactly, man.
And then once it gets towards like work time, people working those 8 to 5, 9 to 5, I'll go downtown. Downtown,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna go to place to place. Maybe they got a doctor appointment all the way to noon, and then afternoon it's free reign. Like right now, which I showed you earlier today,
Hmm.
we got a music festival going on. One of the biggest music festivals in the country. And
Okay.
I showed you those
Yeah,
surges.
yeah, yeah. You saw me. Yeah, it was crazy. It was.
So that's one thing too. I don't think these surges are real. I think they're the price that you're gonna get guaranteed based off of that area. I don't think it's added on or anything like that. Because even for Lift 2, it'll be like a 5 minute ride and it'll say plus $2, but it would only be like $4. So you mean to tell me if it wasn't for that $2 surge, I'd only get paid like $1.50?
Right, right. I think you might have to. I think you might have to go to like the earnings, like or like the especially like on Uber because it'll say like +4. But if you click on the wallet, because if you go to like the earnings section, the earnings would be different. Then you go to like the actual balance, like on the wallet, then it's two different numbers.
Yeah.
So I think
And I
they.
do see that
Mhm.
sometimes for tips too. It doesn't like show exactly on the map where you see how much you've
Mhm.
earned, but it'll show you in your wallet. So I think you're onto something with that. But I don't know. I hear this all the time from nerds, ex
Mhm.
drivers. They say, "Oh yeah, I used to do Uber and Lyft." I'm like, "So why did you stop?" And it's just like, "Oh, it's a supplement this or this and that." So I think they're just lying. But they've asked me about surges too, and it's just like I don't know. I'm not the one that's going to chase surges. If I'm
Yeah,
in the
right.
area, great. Um, but again, I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about am I going to get 300 miles driving, and am I going to hit
Exactly.
know that
Yeah,
booted?
that's pretty much what I worried about because you will worry yourself crazy about worrying about any and everything, man. Just simplify it, and execute because you can worry about the surges, you can worry about five, six, several things and not execute. So at the end of the day, it's not even worth it, because you worried about this, you didn't even execute. So who cares what you worried about, and who cares what your theories are, man? So don't be a nerd, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, so since you started driving, you hit 2 racks a week. What have you learned about yourself? Like how have you grown, as a person?
Yeah, I think it's just just the different types of people that come in my rides.
Hmm.
Just being able to listen to their problems. I'm not a problem solver, but
Right. Now
just
you are now. Shit.
I am now, I guess. Just saying a little, just agreeing with them, and I've solved all their problems.
Right.
I'm not here to listen to you vent all the time, but if I could solve a problem for you, or even just understanding the history of my city. Even though I'm born
Mm.
and raised here, I didn't always know everything. So I've actually spent time, researching, what was the first brewery here, what this and that. So
Hmm.
when I'm taking someone who's never been here before, I'm able to explain to them like, this is where this is. This has been here since 1800s or so on, and they're very fascinated by that. And then in just encouraging them to go to these restaurants or
Hmm.
whatever they're here for, and what they should do on this day and that day, they love that. And then even just having that play octopus tablet in the back seat,
Hmm.
they strive for that. So
Okay.
just helping out with them with that, it just makes it such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, man. It is more fulfilling because it's like now you in control of everything. Like you're doing your own market research. You get common questions like, "Damn, I don't know. Maybe I should look into this." because I pretty much, started the same way, just driving. The people start asking me questions. And I started to do, research about restaurants and, certain history, about, like the city of San Francisco. And it's like, damn, you start to acquire a bunch of knowledge, and now you could have more leverage if you want to, do other things, man. So yeah, so I think that's one of the greatest benefits and how you grow as a person, just because you come in contact with so many people, you getting all this knowledge, and you disciplining like yourself, you working hard, you setting goals if you're doing it properly, and it's like now you relying specifically on yourself. So it's like now you growing and you making yourself more valuable compared to being like at a dead end job, especially because most people, they don't like their job anyway. They just doing it to pay their bills. Then, oh, it's Friday. Now they go drink or,
Yeah.
relax or play games. But, now you could actually, work towards something and make yourself, more valuable and more meaningful to the marketplace. Hmm.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I'm almost 30. I'll be 30 next year, and I still see people that are still my age that I used to hang out with. They're still going out to drink. So it's just, I know I'm in my right mindset. I've built a management skill set that's been
Hmm.
very successful. Of course, I want to be on this video if I didn't have management skills.
Right, right.
But more importantly, just um, learning how to manage this money. This is the first time I've made over $6,000 in a month.
Hmm.
And again, I'm coming from a sales background, so it's always great to hit those commission bonuses,
Hmm.
but it's not consistent. And of course, you could say that this is not really passive income, but it's more of the accelerated do-it-yourself kind of DIY
Yeah,
residual
yeah.
income.
Hmm.
So me knowing now how to save money and how to make sure that I can crunch some numbers. Because
Hmm.
for me right now, I know if I drive home, I'm going to be wasting money cooking, and I'm going to want to relax.
Yep.
My wife's going to bother me, and then she wants to hang out with me,
Yeah.
and then I'll never get two or $300 that day.
Hmm.
So, organizing my time, but also making time for my relationship is very important. And this is all to build up to buy a house, and then from there, build a legacy and have some kids.
Hey, there you go. I like that, man. Yeah, shout out to you, man. Shout out. I like that. See, it's all. See, he has a plan, and a lot of people that come on who do make $2,000, aka 2 racks a week, they have some type of vision. It's like I always say, man. It starts off with readapting your mindset. You know, you start to readapt your mindset, get rid of those limited beliefs. Then you start to create a vision for yourself. Like, okay, I have the opportunity to make way more money than what I was currently making. Then you start to do it. Then you start to take action and execute. And you go, okay, now I'm making more money. Then you start to plan, and it just become a lot more enjoyable to actually do this, because either you have a winner mindset and you figure things out, or you want to make excuses, because at the end of the day, nobody cares about your excuses, especially if you married. You really can't afford excuse, because your wife ain't trying to hear that shit. Like, oh
Oh,
well,
absolutely. You didn't pay this bill on time. I'm like, oh
yeah,
man.
yeah, what you gonna say? Well, they don't treat us fairly. It's like, well, why you still driving? Like, well,
I didn't hit the
gotta get it
bonus
done.
this week, so we
Yeah,
can't, pay the phone bill.
yeah, man. You gotta execute, man. So since you've been driving for a few months, you hit $2,000. Two last questions. Why do you think people don't achieve this milestone or make 2 racks a week?
I think it's just the hours. They're not understanding their market. They're not doing their research, and they're not, having how would you say it? Just keeping themselves diligent. They definitely got
Hmm.
to be. I would say you got to be like a military officer to yourself. You got to be strict. You got to make it happen. If you got to put your phone on do not disturb until you get to like 15 rides and then communicate with other people. There's a lot of distractions in this world, and yes, it could be the riders too. Like they could say some negative things to you as well, and that can turn you off. But it's more of just having that due diligence you're going to get it done and you're going to make it happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, you definitely have to make it happen, man, because like the people who do have excuses or gripes or negative experiences, you really have to objectively ask them or make them prove to you that they have worked 60, 70, 80 hours for you to
Yeah.
believe them. Because a lot of people, they make excuses, then you see, all right, let me see your app, man. Fucking you drove 19 hours, like what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
you drove less hours than a fucking 15-year-old working at McDonald's.
Even at 40 hours too, you're probably going to hit at least $1,000. So
Yeah.
for for a nerd to be complaining about, oh, I only made $500, $600, how long have you actually been on the app? Are you
Right.
taking this seriously? You got other things going on in your life, and that's fine if they're in school or they got a second job too. But you got to manage it. There's definitely things in your life where you can get rid of. Like for me, it used to be activities with friends. Drinking all the
Yep.
time.
Hmm.
I love sports, so I'd always play volleyball almost every single day.
Hmm.
And it's just like I just got to cut those things out. Do it here and there, and spend more time for myself. You know, I'm a religious person, so I definitely feel that I've been more in a spiritual portion for myself, being able
Okay.
to meditate and be able to do those things in the morning and having that freedom. I feel like I had chains on myself working a 9 to 5 and listening to a boss that just wasn't giving me the right mentorship and coaching. And that's
Hmm.
fine too. It's not for everyone, but I know I can educate myself and
Exactly.
manage myself that way with like YouTube University and
Hmm.
listen to books and educate myself otherwise. And even when I'm during my breaks too, I'll go to like a gardening store or something that I want to explore myself. Maybe even create a new hobby for myself. And just the other day, I was just looking at plants. Just being close to nature and just having that refreshment for myself.
Exactly. You couldn't do that at the
You
job.
can't do that in a cubicle. You can grow a
No, you
plant.
can't, because by the time you get out, one, you don't have time to think to yourself, because you're doing stuff, for the company, and you got deadlines and stuff like that. And by the time you get off work, you just want to relax and turn your brain off. But now, you could drive, have a conversation. Oh, they don't want to talk? Okay, play my music or audio book or a podcast, get that education going. And it's like now you're developing like your mindset. It's just a compound of things. And the last question, man, why do you think this 2 racks a week challenge is so important?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to find in yourself a different version of you. But more importantly, it's going to open up more paths of you doing other things. There's definitely ways of working less to make more money, and it
Hmm.
all starts here. You got to work hard, you got to put in the hours, you got to make that money, and then once you're satisfied, if your goal is 6 figures, great, awesome, get that 6 figures, and then do something else. If you want to
Hmm.
make $500,000 doing over, then do the math. It's very important that you do the math and you figure out what is going to do to take it to the next step.
Hmm.
Have big dreams and have small goals.
Absolutely, man. I agree with everything he said, man. This is just the beginning. It all starts here. People are leaving their jobs, or maybe they start off part-time and they see the true earning potential of this and some of the benefits of driving, and like they transition in this, and they start to find a different and become a different version of themselves, and they love it. And a lot of people are shocked. It's like they didn't even know that they were capable of achieving these things. Like, they didn't even know. And that's why this challenge and these calls are so important, because it inspires other people, to get out, grind, test out their market, test out their mindset, and learn, man. Because like even if you come up short, a few times, eventually you will make it. But let's say even when people do come up short, shit, coming up short, you make $1,600, you still would have doubled your income. So
Still winning, yeah.
yeah, so it's like you still winning out here, man. That's what this challenge is about, man. It's about winning, man. Winning, 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 man. So, man, shout out to Milwaukee. Shout out to Nathaniel out here, you know, getting it in. You know, I'm sure his wife happy. Like, she went from, oh, this not a real job. Now look at her. Oh, I'm going to quit. $2,000. She probably saying 2 racks a week now. So, yeah, man. Any
She's
last
doing the
words?
drums, the piano, the
Oh,
guitar.
yeah, I'm about to get that. Any last words of encouragement for, like, the new drivers or the people who haven't made 2 racks a week yet?
Yeah, just stay focused, create a schedule. You know, I use my iPhone to create a sleep schedule, a calendar. And if you can, you know, get out there and, you know, take those reservations because those
Oh,
can
yeah.
definitely
Mhm.
boost your morale as far as getting the day going. For me, it's a 3 a.m., 4 a.m. reservations that really get it going. And, you know, don't be afraid to initiate that conversation with someone. You could change someone's life for sure.
Oh, absolutely, man. You could definitely change somebody's life for sure, just with a conversation, because a lot of people are scared to talk, going through things. And, you know, I think that's like the best way to get tips, man, because it's like, it's meaningful, it's impactful. So you left an impact, you know, on somebody's life. And, you know, a lot of people, they appreciate that and they want to compensate you from that. And you know, because some people, they could give out water. Any a fucking monkey could do that. A monkey could pass you a water bottle or something. Or a lot of people think if they have a cool car, they'll increase their tips. But man, nah, it's all about your mindset, the conversations that you have, and the value that you add to somebody, man. So man, if you ain't make 2 racks a week, it's never too late. You know, just get out there. You know, start Monday, wake up a little bit earlier, and you know, get your grind on, man. You know, you're probably gonna take 60 hours, maybe a little bit more, but you can do it. And maybe you could come on this show. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what time it is. Drum roll. Guitar. Piano. Violin. Ronnie Speed, over and out. Mr. 2 racks a week. 2 racks a week challenge. Holla back. Peace.
2 racks a week. Ronnie Speed. Yeah, Ronnie Speed. 60 hours.